What are the sounds you hear in a film? The dialogue, the spoken dialogue, which is basically the performance of actors on location.
Right.
Either it is captured while the film is shot or it is dubbed. Then the actors' movements, which we broadly call it Foley sounds,
Foley sounds.
Yeah. Then say ambient sounds that we create. Sometimes we create ambiences. Ambience is something that defines the time element of every visual. Sound is a temporal element. Like, what is the sound of the morning? What is the sound of a summer morning? What is the sound of a summer afternoon? Or an evening? How do you define monsoon? Onset of monsoon, the thick of monsoon, or post monsoon. These are all, how do you define a sports stadium? How do you define a cave? How do you define a day or a mid-noon or a night? So these are the sounds called the ambient sound, which basically defines a particular sound. When you say visual, it's a two-dimensional abstract image.
Right.
The moment I start putting sounds into it, I'm concretizing the meaning of that visual. Whether it is morning, is a day, or a night. Nobody understands a sound man in a film unit is the most powerful person, because he has the innate ability to define, concretize the meaning of the picture, which is otherwise abstract. Probably a meaning that you did not envisage.
Yes.
But I am giving you that meaning. So it's up to the director to understand and take it or leave it or manipulate it. So ambience is one thing, and like you said, music is one of the sounds that you hear in a movie. And Indian films, you also hear songs and dance. Songs, as a part of it. Then you mentioned sound design. Sound effects is another thing. When I say sound effects, is sound of a car. I can define if the particular car is a petrol car or a diesel car or an electric car.
Oh, acha.
I can even define the brand of the car with the sounds of it. Or say a fridge door, or what kind of a door that we just opened that we heard. Is it a wooden door, is it a metal door, is it a glass door? It starts defining.
Yeah.
Like the way when I do Foley and starts putting footsteps, for example. Is it a boy or a girl?
Oh,
is it a man or a woman? It's high heel or chappal. Is it Kolhapuri chappal or flat chappals? So the moment I start putting those sounds, I'm actually putting anthropological information.
Yes.
I'm actually culturally defining it. And music is actually an emotional composition of a music director, looking at like a sequence.
True.
It is his interpretation. Like an editor interpreted after watching all the footage that he has shot. Like a script was read by the director to an actor and he interpreted it. And a cameraman captured it, so he interpreted it. Then you mentioned sound design. So sound design is something, it can be broadly classified as like say I'm dealing with a period film. Like how is the sound of Mumbai, say 200 years before? How do I create that? Either I create from existing sounds or I go and search for something that doesn't exist. Say I'm working on a science fiction film.
Yeah.
So what is the sound of a car 100 years from now, setting the film in another planet? How would that in space there is no air, so you can't hear anything.
Wow.
But then for an audience to make it feel that, how do you define it? Most of the time I rely on my imagination. So I create the sounds from my imagination. Then we sit in the mix room and we see the picture and we vary the levels of all these sounds, and we decide, okay, where to bring the Foley or where to bring the ambience or where to bring in the music, how it should come and how it should go. Sometime in the film we want the audience to laugh. We want the audience to feel fear. We want the audience to feel emotion.
Yes.
Like their eyes should well up, but the tears should not fall, but the tears should fall at this stage of the film. So we keep manipulating all these sounds.
Yes.